Welcome to On Deck with DeRo and Arch. I am Eric DeRosset, and alongside of me, as always, is Mr. Darren Archer. May has arrived. Spring has sprung, we think, for the most part. And so it's a great time of year for the weather and for sports and end of school and all those things that come about this time of the year. So, Darren, good to see you.
Great to see you too, and I concur. As a
Yeah,
teacher, and um, there's nothing better than getting into May and there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we're moving forward to a little bit of a break over the summertime to kick up our heels and relax and enjoy the summer.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think we got a great show today. So, viewers, hang on. We're going to cover a wide variety of topics, and we've just got some good things on tap today. The thing I want to start with first, Darren, is I want to mention that the Park University Pirates men's volleyball team just won. I say just within the last couple of weeks, I believe, won the NAIA Men's Volleyball Championship. I believe they ran the table this year at 35-0. So congratulations to Park University's men's volleyball team, 35-0. I just double checked on their website, so hopefully this is correct. But they have won the national championship in men's volleyball six times since 2003. So they
That's
won it.
incredible.
Yes, they won it in 2003, 08, 12, 14, 17, and 26. So congratulations to Park University. Um,
DeRo, while we're at it, let's give a shout out to Missouri Valley as well. I believe their men's
yes.
volleyball team made it to the national semifinals. So, congratulations to both groups.
Yeah, and what great representation from right here in our state on the men's volleyball
Absolutely.
side. So, hey, you and I have talked about this a ton. We respect all sports and the degree of difficulty that's involved there, especially as you get to the higher levels. But man, that men's volleyball stuff, that is wicked stuff. Like I that's not for the faint of heart. It's really not. So it's a sport that's non-contact, but man, you got to be a man to play men's volleyball. I mean, literally.
Yeah, I'm afraid if I was on the volleyball court, it would turn into a game of dodgeball for me just to get out of
Uh,
the way and not wear one right upside the forehead.
yeah. Hey, those guys are really, really good. I mean,
And
it's
it's what's amazing is the sport is really taking off at the high school levels here in the
yeah,
state of Missouri.
yes,
A lot of teams, a lot of your larger schools are starting to field boys volleyball teams, and I think it's great. Just another
yeah,
avenue for kids to be able to continue their education and athletic endeavors at the collegiate level. And obviously, we have some very good collegiate programs right here in the state of Missouri.
yeah. And on the volleyball side of it, or on the men's side of it, it's in northern Missouri. It's been more popular and more accepted and more mainstream up there for a lot longer than it has in our part of the state. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it's great to see it sort of take off statewide, and yeah, those volleyball athletes, both men and women, but those men are man, they're just really skilled. And as you would expect, the kids grow and they travel and they train and they do all the things that they do for other sports. So in that way, it's no surprise. But man, it's just fun to watch some men's volleyball. So congratulations to Park University Pirates and Missouri Valley on a great run in men's basketball or men's volleyball. Sorry. Uh, going to reference an event that happened about 27 years ago, I believe. I think I got the numbers right. Maybe longer than that, but the Cubs and Reds were playing this weekend or this week, and in Major League Baseball, and the Cubs honored Kerry Wood for his 20 strikeout game that he pitched in 1998. So obviously that got me to thinking a little bit, and I went back and researched that game a little bit that Kerry Wood threw that day. It was May 6th, 1998, I believe. Darren, I'm going to throw some facts at you, and then I'm just going to let you take it and run. Uh, First of all, they played the Houston Astros. If you know anything about baseball in the 90s, the Astros lineup in terms of hitting, they were really good. They had two future Hall of Famers and Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell, and then they had several other guys that were more than just average MLB players. They were stars in their own right. Um, so Kerry Wood was facing a formidable team on that day when he struck out 20 batters of the Astros 27 outs. Just to sort of set this up a little bit, the first pitch of the game, um, and I'm going to preface this a little bit, like it's it's pretty normal for guys. I say normal. Major league guys, they're going to come in and throw 95 to 100, just about all of them, unless they're a specialist of some sort. They're a submarine guy, a lefty. I'm going to get one guy out type guy. Most guys now are throwing 95 to 100. Um, Kerry Wood was maybe a little ahead of his time. He was on the top end of velocity for sure during that time. First pitch of the game is to Craig Biggio. Biggio squares to bunt, and uh, it's an awkward looking bunt. I went back and watched the video. Awkward looking bunt attempt. Uh, and then the catcher missed the pitch, just completely missed it. The ball was not fouled. It hits the umpire square in the mask. First pitch of the game, and it sort of took him aback. I don't know if he was stunned momentarily or just surprised or what. But from the first pitch on, the Houston batters say that they knew that there was something special about Kerry Wood's stuff that day. First inning of the game, he faces Biggio, Derek Bell, and Jeff Bagwell. Two of those three are future Hall of Famers. Derek Bell was the one that was not a Hall of Famer. However, at that point in the season, he was leading the league with a 403 average coming into that game. So those are the first three batters of the game. Bagwell, a future Hall of Famer, was three of Kerry Wood's 20 strikeouts that day. Wood, that was his fifth start in the major leagues. To that point, he'd given up 15 hits and walked 12 batters and was clearly trying to find his way. The pitcher he pitched against for Houston gave up 2 runs in the game and went the distance, pitched all 9 innings and struck out 10 on his own right. So combined, the two pitchers struck out 30 batters on the day. The attendance that day, and this is the quote I saw, the attendance that day, paid attendance was 15,578, but over 195,000 claim to have been there that day. So Kerry Wood, great pitcher. You're a Cubs guy. He started his career as a starter, and then late in his career was converted to a reliever and had some success there. So, being a Cubs guy, I'm just going to throw the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout day at you and get a little feedback from you.
You bet. And, you know, obviously, back in that era, and that continued on till 2016, there wasn't a whole lot to cheer about being a Cubs fan. You have the Kerry Wood game and you have the Ryan Sandberg game. You
Yep.
know, that for the longest time kind of propped up in Cubs lore, looking back at the history, you know, from the early 1900s up until, you know, the past 10 years or so.
Right.
And I remember that game. I was not there, I can tell
Oh,
you
okay.
that.
Okay.
But I do remember watching that game on WGN, and it was just amazing how he was you had the killer bees. You know, you mentioned the top 3 in the lineup. Biggio,
Right.
Bell, and Bagwell. They were known as the killer bees just because they were so good. It was such a formidable starting top 3 of your lineup type
Right.
hitters, probably the best in the entire league at that point in time.
Right.
And to watch him, you know, just kind of systematically mow down pitches and strike batters out. it gave the Cubs fans something to really get on the edge of their seats about that we really hadn't had the opportunity to in a very long time. And like I said, if you ask any Cubs fan that's been a fan for a long time, if you go back and you talk about that era,
Yep.
you talk about uh, Ryan Sandberg's game,
Right.
and you talk about Kerry Wood's game. So uh, they will forever be a storied game or storied games in the annals as far as the Cubs are concerned. And it was just a really neat time to see something like that when otherwise you didn't have much to cheer about. If the
Right.
Cubs went 500 that year, you're thinking, "Hey, we're on to something."
Right.
Usually they didn't get the 500.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and as you know, as I think about that a little bit, and you mentioned the top three in the lineup as I did earlier, but even the bottom of the Astros lineup, Moises Alou, who was a very gifted hitter and fielder and an all-star by his own right. That lineup wasn't just three deep. It went all the way down, and it is interesting to hear the Houston guys talk about how quickly they could sense he was different that day. Kerry was different that day. Um, I'm going from this is memory, so viewers, you might correct me down the road. I believe that was maybe the second 20 strikeout game in Major League history. I think Clemens did it
Clemens,
previously,
correct.
and then Kerry Wood done, and then I don't know if it's been done since or not. That's the part I'm unsure about.
I don't
Um,
think it has.
So, and you and I, that actually leads me into something that we're going to do later. I've got some rare baseball stats that we're going to share later in our Hold 'em Fold 'em segment. So, yeah, the 20 strikeout game, and that if that was the second time in history, Roger Clemens first, like, and we named some of these pitching names last week that you would think somebody would have gotten to 20 strikeouts in a game. The Bob Feller types, Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax. The names just go on and on. Even a young J.R. Richard when he
Yes,
was healthy, like Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver. Like you could just name
yeah.
names after names that were power pitchers in their era that
I'm going to
didn't
throw
get 20
one at you.
strikeouts.
I'm going to throw one at you. Mark Fidrich.
Yes, yes,
I mean, he could really bring it as well.
yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
right,
Um,
yeah.
to be able to do something like that.
Very much a rarity. That 20 strikeouts in the games, very much a rarity. So anyway, I heard that when I was trying to force myself to finish the Reds game last night versus the Cubs, and I was looking up Kerry Wood stats. So yeah, yeah, what a great moment for the Cubs and Kerry Wood in 1998, 20 strikeout game. So going to kind of stick with Major League Baseball here. We'll just kind of recap. Braves playing really well still. We mentioned them last week. Real deal. You and I talked about that last week. They are not going away. Ebbs and flows as they may be. I just don't see them. Just don't see them going away. Yankees are actually playing well, and it's weird. It's kind of a quiet Yankees start. I mean, I don't feel like I'm hearing a ton about the Yankees, which is unusual, good or bad. But they're playing really well. In the NL, the interesting thing that's happened since our last show last week was the NL Central has absolutely turned upside down from what it was a week ago. The Cubs were on or near the bottom about a week ago, and now it was close. And essentially, now the Cubs sit at the top and the Reds sit at the bottom, and the order has flipped even in the middle there. So NL Central just got that. It's got that feeling it's going to be a war all year.
Yeah, I think it's going to continue to. Uh, Teams are going to go up and down in that NL Central for quite a while. I think there's just too good of teams from top to bottom. Very good pitching staffs, and that's one thing is, um, the Cubs. starting pitching is depleted basically. Their top three guys are on the shelf right now due to injuries. They lost one for the year. He'll have Tommy John surgery, and then they get one back from Tommy John surgery, probably Justin Steele, probably around the All Star break, provided nothing, you know, more happens in his recovery. And they had another pitcher yesterday who was playing with his kids, got an MCL tear and had to have surgery today. So, that's part of the game. You mentioned Atlanta; they're playing
Yes.
without Ronald
Yes.
Acuna
Yes.
Jr. right now, and still just beating people. And
Yeah.
you've got to figure if you take somebody like that out of your lineup, it's going to set you back some, but they just keep plugging people in, and they can hit all the way up and down their lineup. It's
Yeah.
that's you know I You mentioned New York. I think one of the reasons why they're kind of under the radar a little bit is I think so many people think that the Dodgers are going to walk away with this entire
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
They haven't really done that yet. And then
Yeah.
obviously they're dealing with few injuries as well. But I mean, they come into St. Louis and get one game out of the series, and St. Louis is supposed to be really down. I felt like, and they hit some of their better pitchers. So, it's going to be interesting throughout the rest of this year, especially in the NL Central. I think that movement's going to continue throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah. I agree. And we've said this a million times. Such a baseball, such a long season, and there are so many ebbs and flows. And I'm going to use my Reds as an example. Hey, they're in first place literally a week ago, and feeling as confident probably as they've been since maybe a Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto sort of era. Let's say 10, 15 years ago, uh, and probably playing their best ball. To they go from that to dropping seven straight in the division. And so baseball's funny that way. Um, they've got a rookie that's named Sal Stewart, who was tearing it up, player of the month, the first month of the season. Now he can't hit a lick. He's hitting 243 and fading fast. Obviously, he's a great talent, and he's going to bounce back. But I think it just goes to show you how fickle baseball can be, honestly. Because South Stewart's really good. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. But right now, he can't find his way on. I mean, just he couldn't put it on a tee and hit it right now. And
Yeah.
so, the my point with that is, just as much as that is true for individual players, it's true for whole teams as well. They just sometimes it's just not there. And so we're entering that season or that time of the season where we feel like there is some separation and we start to see kind of who's who and who's not. NL Central, I don't know that we're going to know for a long time
No.
in that division. So, and hey, not a huge Cardinals fan myself, but hey, shout out to them for doing what they're doing. I did. I'd be the first to say I did not see the Cardinals with this start.
No, I didn't either. I don't think anybody did, but um, I'll tell you, they're fun to watch. They're young, they're scrappy. Um, it's almost like they have the next up mentality, and sprinkled in their lineup. There's going to be a couple dingers here and there too, and
Yeah,
they're just able to put runs up on the board. And their defense is really good. Weatherholt is a player. He's a
he is.
stud. Their
He's a
middle
Woodrow.
infielders, that's quite a duo and a young duo at that. So
Right.
with Mason Wynn and Weatherholt,
Yeah.
that's pretty good defense right there.
Yeah. And there's a saying that, we use in coaching a lot. You wouldn't think that it would apply at the professional level, but it may perhaps. And that saying goes something like this: They don't know what they don't know, and
Right.
sometimes that's okay. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know where they should be on paper in terms of in the standings, and so you're right. I think they're playing loose and without pressure, and seems like somebody different steps up every day. So again, neither one of us pretend to be huge Cardinal fans, but credit to them for playing well. I'm going to make one more baseball note that I had seen the story prior to the Reds Cubs series, and I would bring this story up no matter what team this player played for. Reds have a relief pitcher named TJ Antone, actually. TJ is actually spelled Tejay, TJ, uh, and Antone is his last name. He's coming off his third Tommy John surgery. Three. He last pitched in the major leagues in April of 2024, and he made his first appearance last night in a major league game in 759 days, coming off his third Tommy John surgery. And I actually read a little bio about him, and he's actually writing a book sort of about his journey through those surgeries and all those kind of things, and the support that his wife gave him, and overcoming this third one, and three Tommy Johns. I don't know what more you can say.
No, that's an amazing story, and I watched the game. He looked dang good.
Yeah,
he,
yeah, I did.
he looked like he had some work over the weekend and had his rest and was back up and ready to go. But what an incredible story! And hats off to him for sticking with it. I think, you know, I'm thinking after my second one, why keep
Yeah,
doing this? You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's not like uh, that's tougher to recover from than a broken bone. And you're looking at a year minimum most times in recovery. And obviously, doesn't always mean it's going to hold together when you
Right.
have Tommy John surgery. In a lot of cases, it does. But obviously, his haven't. And kudos to him for sticking it out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to be the equivalent of a knee injury for a running back. I mean, I think that's the only parallel that I can draw. Um, it- so just to hear of an NFL running back coming back after a third knee injury on the same knee, I think that's probably the closest
Yeah.
equivalent that I could come up with. So
Maybe in the NBA and Achilles,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
those usually take, you're usually going to have to set out better part of a season in
yep,
recovery, depending on when that occurs. But yeah, you're right. That's an incredible process to get through just to come back and pitch.
for sure. His reaction. He struck out two batters in that inning last night, and his reaction as he was coming off the field was worth the price of my entire MLB
Yes,
TV
agreed.
package that I bought. Like you could, he was obviously fired up because it was a big point in the game, but there was more in that emotion than just being fired up. Like
Yeah,
it was just a release of a journey. Like his emotion was just all wrapped up in this journey that he had. So really cool moment for him, and the Reds players have as they should, incredible respect for him. So I'm sure that dugout was just buzzing when he got back to it. So congratulations to him for coming back from three could be career-ending injuries in a lot of cases. So I'm going to stick with Major League Baseball. One more topic here, and this is I'm going to have a hard time putting this in words, so you may have to help me a little bit. Um, Obviously, sports betting that is becoming more and more accepted as a whole. It's legal in Missouri, and it's more prevalent than what it used to be. Um, Baseball purists, their upper crust, so to speak, uh, going back over 100 years, have viewed gambling on baseball as the unpardonable sin. I mean, as players, you could do a lot of things, all sorts of debauchery. But if you gambled on baseball, you're done. I mean, that was their line. Um, so where I'm going with this, I think I hear more of my peers, people that I talk to, that are probably more geared to the NFL or the NBA, that because of betting, FanDuel, and the like, they are more interested and more connected to baseball than I've ever seen a few of those guys be. So the dichotomy, the weird polar opposite thing here that I'm trying to throw at you is baseball may be increasing their fan base to a degree from a thing that they have traditionally 100% rejected. So, am I seeing right? Is that a possibility? Give me your thoughts there.
I think absolutely you're right. Um, and let me preface this by saying I think the big no-no as far as gambling and baseball was specific toward the players themselves gambling on baseball.
Yes,
And that's kind of a no-no in any sport. But
it is.
I think on the few times that players got caught up in getting basically busted for gambling on baseball or being a part of a gambling scheme has been more prevalent in baseball, and that's why it's kind of been looked down upon. Um, the Black Sox scandals,
Right.
Pete Rose,
Yep.
those are just a few examples. And you think about Pete Rose. Um, he's basically been banned from baseball
Yeah.
while he was alive because of gambling. And I think from that, I guess, point of view, gambling has been frowned upon as far as Major League Baseball is concerned. I think from a fan standpoint, it's whether baseball wants or not. I'm sure they probably do, but they're not going to tell everybody. Is hey, they're going to welcome those betters in as fans um, with open arms.
Yeah.
Um, I just see that as another avenue to right, wrong, or indifferent to gain fans. And, we talked about buying the Major League Baseball package, TV package. You and I do that because we love to just summertime, there's not much going on, or it's too hot to do something outside. We can
Right.
sit in our living room, flip on and watch any game across the country at any point in time we want to. So, but I do think uh, the sports betting industry has certainly pushed a lot of maybe quasi fans
Yeah. Yeah.
may
That's a
watch it on
great.
occasion
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
being full-time fans because of that sports gambling avenue. I believe
Yeah.
you're correct. Yeah.
And I even heard the other day, and it caught me off guard uh, because this guy I was talking to is not. He is a Cardinals fan. Okay, but outside of the Cardinals, previous years he couldn't tell you who's good and who's not necessarily. He couldn't name players from teams necessarily. And it doesn't make him a bad guy. He was just, hey, I'm a Cardinals fan, and if the Cardinals win, I'm happy, and if not, then hey, Chiefs are coming in the fall type deal. Um, but he was speaking about his parlay, and he named some. Hey, I need so and so to go deep tonight or whatever. And
Yeah.
in my gut, I knew it was a guy that last year at this time he wouldn't even know who they played for, or probably hadn't
Yeah.
even heard of the guy, right? But on that particular day, he needed him to hit a home run. So it is it's a kind of a weird thing in terms of, and you made the point off air, which is really good. Baseball didn't baseball didn't do this, right? Like they didn't. they didn't essentially set up, hey, we're going to gain fans by endorsing gambling. Like they didn't have to do that. Um, it was kind of done for them, and now they're sort of reaping these financial benefits and fan base interest. And hey, now I know some players that I didn't know before, and so it is kind of weird for particularly Major League Baseball to get some support that they're not generating, that they're not there's some sort of movement or platform that they're pushing out. This is happening without Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and I want to apologize to our viewers. I'm battling a cold really bad, so if I'm coughing, I apologize. But I'll tell you another area or another thing that may be pushing some fans that way to not just be a one team fan or just a casual observer is we know that the effect of fantasy football
Right.
has with the NFL. Fantasy baseball starting to gain traction as well.
Yeah.
And being a part of that, you've got to expand your knowledge and know, um, what players you're going to draft, what trades you want to make, what pitching staff, how many starters, how many relievers. There's just so many different areas, but I think that too is pushing those quasi casual observers into being full fledged MLB fans and not
Yeah.
necessarily a particular team fan.
Agree. I've been you talked to me last summer about fantasy baseball a little bit, and hey, we ought to get in the league and all those things. Um, my problem with that is, as a fan of baseball already, man, I don't. That would be dangerous for me. I don't think I'd get anything. I don't think I'd get anything else done in my life. Um, if I get to sort of be a general manager of a baseball team, I don't think it gets any better than that for me. So you're right. The sort of creating that ownership, or that you sort of have a part in the success or the failure of that team, and you've got something writing on it, whether it's money or whether it's in a league, a fantasy league, like those things I think are really helping baseball, perhaps more than other sports. Because
Yeah.
baseball, I mean, they need a shot in the arm, it seems, and they're doing some really good things. You and I've talked about that, but this ability to bet openly on baseball, I think's really helped them. So good or bad, it's here to stay, and once it's here, it's not going away. I mean, you and I both know that. So
And
uh,
DeRo, I can say that betting on baseball is sometimes very good, sometimes it's very bad. I'm just
yeah,
gonna leave it at that.
yeah, I think you shared that with me in explicit detail before our show last week. I think you were quite honest about your feelings
Yes, yes.
about what you had going on gambling wise that night. So very good and very bad. We'll just leave it at that.
You
So
bet.
uh, switching gears here to NBA, we won't stay with the NBA very long tonight, but presently they're in the second round of NBA playoffs. Some couple, two or three matchups that I'm intrigued by, and then I'll just turn it to you. I like the Spurs Wolves series as we speak. That series is 1-1. The Wolves won the first one by two, and then the Spurs came back and stomped a mud hole in Minnesota in game two. So that series is 1-1. Uh, the OKC Lakers series intrigues me a little bit because of the LeBron factor and all those things. OKC is really good. I, I may be wrong. Don't take this one to FanDuel, Darren, but I think OKC probably wins in five, maybe something along those lines, and might be wrong. And then the other team I'm sort of intrigued with right now is the Pistons because they had to work so hard to win that first series. They were the number one seed and had to fight for their life to get out of the first round, and now are playing in the second series. So I'm anxious to see if that just sort of woke them up, or if they had to play their guts out and are out of energy. So I'm going to throw the NBA your way and let you comment.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any real surprises so far. in this second round of games, outside of maybe Minnesota beating um, San Antonio the very first game
Yeah.
to start the series, especially with Wembanyama being healthy
Right.
and kind of back on his feet from the concussion protocol. To me, that's really been the only surprise. I will tell you one. I guess yeah, I'd call it a surprise. Is that Oklahoma City won the way that they did that first game,
Hmm.
and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander only had 18 points.
Yeah.
He did not have one of his better games, and I think that speaks to the depth and the just the firepower that that team has, where he can have not a very good night and still win, going away very comfortably. And I agree. I think the OKC Lakers series is going to be a quick one.
Yeah. Yeah. What and there's no way to quantify this. Obviously, if the Lakers had Luca, it would be a different series. The question is how much different?
I don't know when they had him. Um, LA lost by an average of 23 points in all the games that they played OKC in regular seasons. So it I mean none.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
mean,
just think Oklahoma City's that good,
yeah.
and they're playing like a team that wants to defend their title. A lot of teams you'll see them have a hangover or
Yeah.
a honeymoon period to where they're kind of going through the motions. They did it, and they kind of rest on that fact that they've done it, and they are. And it's okay not to be the next year sometimes. You just kind of get that feeling about some teams, but not this one.
Yeah.
They've got repeat on their mind, and they're going to be a very tough out. I don't care who, where, how. They are going to be a tough out
They just hurt you everywhere. I mean, just
everywhere.
every spot on the floor, guys off the bench. They execute in crucial situations. If somebody makes a run on them, they answer the run. Like they just are pretty good.
And
Um,
DeRo for a professional team, they will flat out guard you.
yeah,
I mean, they will get out and guard you, and it's kind of a lost art.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
you know what I'm saying in the
Yeah,
NBA, and I get it. Regular season, you know, you're three quarters of the way through. You're trying to rest up if you're a playoff team to make that playoff push. But man, they just don't take very many nights off defensively, and I think that's the difference in this team.
yeah. And this is not a hate on LeBron comment at all. I think it's just reality. I mean, the Lakers' best chance, and it was in the earlier series as well. Like for LeBron just to leak out and sort of cherry pick part of the night is might be their best offense
Yeah,
a lot of the time because he leaks out, they throw it to him, and then he sort of either creates for himself or he gets somebody else on a diagonal pass or something like that. And so uh, that's not you and I don't like that brand of basketball, but that may be their best bet
yeah,
to
agreed.
put up points. And hey, again, not a I hate LeBron statement at all. That's not what I'm trying to do here, but he's not super interested in guarding right now at this point in his career. And I'm not
Right.
saying and hey, you scored 40,000 points. Hey, you don't have to guard if you don't want to. I mean, that's
Right.
that's probably okay. So, you know, to have him leak out or have him get out early is probably not going to affect their team defense a whole lot at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe just let him go and throw it to him and hope for the best. So
Yep. Agreed.
anyway, I do NBA playoffs. I kind of grumbled early on earlier this year in our show about you know don't watch a lot of NBA and blah blah blah. And playoffs are here, and I kind of changed my tone.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch them. So we will definitely keep an eye on the NBA and keep all of our viewers informed on that. So. Well, Darren, the last couple of weeks, I have kind of failed you on our hold 'em, fold 'em sequence. I haven't had any of those scenarios that I felt just really good about. Um, for those of you who are just watching us the first time, Just about every week, we end our show with what we call Hold 'em and Fold 'em. I'll give Coach Archer a couple of scenarios, or I give him a scenario, and I make him choose whether he's going to hold that scenario or whether he's going to fold on that scenario. Um, Over the last couple of weeks, I just haven't had material that I felt real good about. So, but this week, we're going to do a version of the Hold 'em and Fold 'em. It's not quite what we normally do, but I think there's some good stuff here. Okay. So, Darren, here's how I'm going to start it. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this before I give you these scenarios. Okay. We're talking ML baseball here. Um, there is a listing that I saw of the most rare occurrences that have ever taken place in Major League Baseball. And so earlier in the show, we mentioned the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout game and how that was the second time we thought that when he did it, it was time number 2 behind Roger Clemens, who did it first. So it's things like that. Okay. So in Major League Baseball, according to this source that I looked at, the number one most rare thing to happen in a baseball game was 2 grand slams in 1 inning. In the history of statistical baseball, that has happened 1 time. Fernando Tatis Sr. did that while a member of the Cardinals. And so 2 grand slams by the same batter in 1 inning, 1 time, Major League Baseball. The second one is a batter hits into a double play 4 times in the same game. That has been done twice in Major League history. I don't have a reference on who it was and when it was, but so 2 times in modern baseball statistical era has the same player grounded into 4 double plays in a single game. Okay. So those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about. All right, Darren, you good so far?
You bet. I'm with you.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I'm going to compare one versus another, and you have to give me the one that you think is the most rare occurrence in
Okay.
Major League
Very good.
Baseball history. Okay. The first one is a batter hits a grand slam in his first career at bat, or a pitcher loses his perfect game on the 27th batter or last batter of the game. Okay, I'll say it again.
Okay.
A batter hits a grand slam in his first major league at bat, or a pitcher loses his perfect game on the 27th batter. Which one of those is the most rare?
I am going to say a player hits a grand slam in his first at bat.
You are correct.
Okay.
Four
I was going to
times.
say
4 times in Major League history
4
has
times.
a batter
Okay.
hit a grand slam in his first career at bat. A perfect game has been lost on the 27th batter 14 times
Okay.
in Major League history. Okay.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done. The second one, which one is most rare? A batter has the same batter has a 4 home run game, or a pitcher throws a perfect game. Which of those is most rare? And I will tell you this one's close.
Okay. I am going to have to say a player hits 4 home runs in a single game. Hold 'em.
That is the most rare. You are correct.
Wow.
A 4 home run game has happened 18 times, Major League history. A perfect game has happened 23 times.
Wow.
I
Those
guess
numbers seem high to me.
well,
Don't they? I figured. I mean, not that they
yeah,
didn't happen. I'm not saying that, but I
right.
figured they'd be much lower than that. That's
And
that's
I,
amazing.
and I thought the disparity between those two would be broader. I thought the
Yeah.
4 home run game would be much more rare than the perfect game. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so very interesting.
Interesting.
The third one. The same gets caught stealing a base 3 times in the same game, or a batter hits 2 grand slams in the same game. And I'll tell you this, both of these are more rare than the 2 previous ones.
Yeah.
So, 3 caught stealings in a game or 2 grand slams by the same player in a game.
All right. I've got crazy logic behind my answer.
I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
If you get caught stealing twice, why are you trying a third
Yeah,
time? And what manager in their right mind's giving that signal?
I agree.
Unless somebody's running through it. And if
Yep.
they had a green light, they're gonna have a red light the very next morning, I guarantee.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say a player getting caught 3 times trying to steal a base is more rare than 2 grand slams.
you are correct.
Wow.
3 caught
I need
stealings in a game has happened, according to this, 6 times. That is pretty rare.
wow.
The 2 grand slams in a game by the same player is 13.
That see, those numbers are still higher
Really?
than what I thought they would be. Yeah, that's amazing to me, but I the crazy logic behind the last one with the stealing bases, I just you know, being
Right.
a coach, you just gotta figure at some point in time, you're gonna set that player down and say, "Listen, you move more than 12 inches off of
Right.
that base,
Right.
you are heading down. We're
Right.
gonna ship you off to Chattanooga on the first train out."
Yeah, and hey, I'm not saying old managers are better, like managers from yesteryear are better than managers of today,
Yeah, yeah.
but I can't imagine the conversation that I would have to have with Tommy Lasorda after I got caught stealing 3 times in the same game,
Exactly.
or Sparky Anderson, or
Yes, I was getting
uh,
ready to say Sparky, could you
uh,
imagine?
Billy Martin. Billy Martin. Imagine explaining
Yes,
that to Billy Martin.
right, right.
So yeah. Anyway, I thought that list was a cool list. The grounding in, I gave you this to start this segment, but grounding into 4 double plays in one game by the same batter, uh, that could happen to the best batter in the league. I mean, we know
Sure,
that. That's not an
absolutely.
indication of the batter. But you
Right.
talk about some bad luck. There's got to be some bad luck there. Um,
Yeah,
for just to ground into 4 double plays in one game. Just for a team, just as a fan, when my team hits into 2 in a game or 3 in a game, like, it just tears me up because it's just a lost opportunity, right?
sure, sure.
Can't imagine being the guy that hits into 4 by yourself in the same
Wow.
game. Can't imagine carrying that around. So,
Snake bitten.
yeah, for sure. So, anyway, I thought those were good things to talk about. I'm gonna close with this one. It's kind of a hold 'em and fold 'em as well. I'm doing this on the fly,
Okay.
okay? Kentucky Derby was held just recently, one of the most revered, probably, events in the sporting world as we know it. Tremendous pageantry and history and respect and all those things that go along with Kentucky Derby. It is a 4 or 5 hour event that takes 2 minutes. The actual event takes a couple of minutes or whatever, and but the whole thing is just phenomenal. So that event was held just this week or just in the past couple of weeks. Uh, to me, perhaps the event or an event that sort of mirrors the same sort of pageantry would be Wimbledon, highly revered. Um, just that same sort of classy, sort of elegant vibe to it, but it still falls under the sports umbrella of competition. So my question for you is, as a bucket list, sort of as a hold 'em or fold 'em, of the 2 events, Kentucky Derby or Wimbledon finals, which would you
Gosh.
which would you hold if you had to, and and consequently that would make you have to fold the other one. You only
Sure.
get to go to one. Which is it going to
Etiquette,
be?
etiquette, etiquette wise, I am probably better suited for the Kentucky Derby. You don't have to be quiet.
that's that's true.
You can get a few mint juleps in you and just go rowdy as you want to.
Yep.
But
And I can see you doing that.
and I'm not real sure. I'm not real sure. I've got the attire to wear to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, that's a deal,
So
right?
I'd hate to have to go out and buy a new
Yeah,
whatever you're supposed to
right.
wear to those things. Honestly, just from the cultural standpoint, I would love to go see Wimbledon.
Yeah,
To be able to go overseas and experience a sporting event. Um, Gosh, both of them would be a great opportunity.
absolutely.
Uh, I've never really been into horse racing. I'll watch the Triple Crown if it's on TV and I'm not taking a nap, but I'm not all into it and who the favorites are, stuff like that. So,
Right.
um, but just to be able to go overseas, um, experience that whole, like you said, they're both very elegant events in
Yes.
their own way. Um, but just, I guess, I've been to Louisville or
Mm,
Louisville, however you want to say it. I've been
right.
there. Being able to go over to Wimbledon, go over to England, and experience all the history, and that's one thing. A building here in the United States, if it's 250 years old, 200 years old, that's an old building.
Right.
Over there, old buildings were created in um,
Yes.
you know, the 1600s before
Right.
America was even thought of. So, yeah, I would behold them on Wimbledon.
Yeah. Yeah. And and again, neither one of us are taking anything away from Kentucky Derby because what a
No,
fabulous event. What a fabulous event. But
yeah,
um, the I think the Wimbledon also just in the pure competitive,
yeah,
Wimbledon's final is after all the tennis they've had to play to get there.
yeah.
And I mean, it's just two warriors. Well, male or female doesn't matter. I mean, th- it is one of those athletic events where you truly see just those athletes just lay it all on the line. And it's different from a team game in the fact that it's just that person. And you just
I would think that watching Wimbledon would be, or watching a major tennis event would be similar to watching a, say, the Indy 500 on TV
yep,
and watching it in person. You can't appreciate the speed that those cars have and how fast a person is strapped into a vehicle going over 200 mile an hour heading
right.
into a turn. I would say that tennis would be a lot like that from the standpoint we probably don't have any idea how actually quick that ball's coming off the racket off of a serve. And for somebody to be able to put, you know, something that's this size on
Right.
that thing, to be able to get it across and not hit it out of the freaking,
Right.
stadium.
Right.
You've got to put it over the net and within a court. So I would think that those two would be similar. And same way with horse racing. We probably don't appreciate how fast those horses are
True.
watching it on television. Being there in person, I think it would change your whole perception and appreciation for that sport.
I agree. I agree. Even when I was, even as a kid, I can remember watching like Wimbledon, and I wasn't even a tennis guy per se, but even then I had appreciation for just the individual struggle that a Jimmy Connors or Yvonne Lindell or John McEnroe or Chris Everett Lloyd or Martina Navratilova or whoever it was, right?
Right.
I mean, we understood how good they really were, even in those moments. So I'm with you. I think I would enjoy Wimbledon probably as much just for that competitive thing, the competitive feature, as much as anything. So anyway, that's it for your hold'em and fold'ems today, Darren.
Those were awesome. Great
Yeah,
job.
yeah. Well, again, it took me 3 weeks to do it, so I wouldn't give me too many accolades because it was slow in coming. But anyway,
It was
got it
it was
done.
well worth the wait. Well worth the
Love
wait.
it. Yep, I agree. Well, listen, that's all I have for this week. Darren, you want to throw out any thoughts or anything before we to our viewers before we leave today?
No, we just we appreciate all of our listeners and viewers, and for those of you that, if you'd like, go follow us on Facebook. Our Twitter or X handles are scripted below, and join our YouTube channel. Give us a like, give us a follow. Um, that allows us to continue to do what we're doing. And like I always say, we're just two old coaches that love to sit around and talk sports, and hopefully you get some enjoyment out of it. We're not always right. We don't claim to be. We're just, like I said, we're just throwing out opinions, and we just have a lot of fun and hope you enjoy listening to it.
Yeah. And this isn't a plug or a pat on the back. I say this as a credit to the people that are sort of watching us. But you told me a little bit this week about sort of our numbers of viewers, and I had no idea that we were able to sort of sit around and talk to as many people as we were getting to do. So this is a thank you more than it is a
Yes.
puffing ourselves up. To those of you that's watching our show and sort of giving us some input here and there and supporting us behind the scenes, like thank you. Again, I had no idea. We just we just come on and do the show, and I, we don't think twice about who's watching and who's not watching, and in terms of are we being successful? Are we reaching enough people? Like that? That's not even on our radar. But it was nice to know that there are several of you out there that are participating in this show with us. So thanks to you as the viewer for doing that. And Darren's right. We couldn't do it without you. So thanks for your support, and keep watching us, even when we do screw it up, because we do that from time to time. But
Only on days that end in Y.
well, yeah, otherwise we're pretty good.
You
So
bet.
yeah, I agree with that. So, well, without further ado, again, thanks for joining us. You have been watching On Deck with DeRo and Arch. For Darren Archer, I am Eric DeRosset, and I am signing us off for this week. Tune in next week, and we'd love to have you back.
This has been a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network. Thank you for tuning in.